We wanted to introduce the 43 goldfish we have in the shop here. They were originally in the stock tank last year during summer and early fall. They are big pigs, and I wanted you to be able to see them. So we waited on the feeding time so you can see how they interact for feeding. They have huge personalities and beautiful markings. In this stock tank, we have multiple bog systems set up with multiple filtration systems set up. Sometimes if you're lucky, they'll nibble your fingers just like that. When we bought these fish, they were 20 to 30 cent feeder goldfish. They were very tiny, about an inch to an inch and a half in length. They are now approximately 2.5 to 3 inches in length, and they are thriving and doing very well. We like to nickname them piranhas, but obviously tonight we held off on feeding, so they are not so much like piranhas. These are our first fish we had in our first galvanized stock tank pond, which is 8 foot by 2 foot. The first fish that were actually in the pond is Toots, which you'll see right here. She made quite a show off. Then you have Smudge up above her, and then you have Blondie in the background. They have grown quite a bit. It's been about 2 years since they've been in stock pond. They started out with a 10-gallon tank, but quickly, very quickly grew to the 40-gallon tank. We had added some friends in with them. This is Cleo. She has lipstick on, along with Sid here, who is the same type of goldfish. They have crests that, like Sid has, will grow large and bulbous in orange in color. Sid is a very special fish to me. He had developed a, how should we put it, impediment in his fins due to other fish chewing them off, or a handicap of some sort where he wasn't able to grow them. I saw him as being the cutest little fish in the tank, and we had to have him. He is now one of the most beautiful fish I have ever seen. He just jets around with the girls and the boys. The black fish you were seeing in the tank is a black moor. His name is Wally. He is nicknamed after the cartoon Wally. He has very big eyes, but he has so much character. All of these fish here in the 40-gallon tank are so lovable, and they come and direct your attention when you're near the tank as if you're going to feed them or if you need attention. We also have Jerry, who's not been pictured in this footage. He's probably hiding in his log. He is a pleco. He's approximately 2.5 inches in length, and he helps keep the tank clean. These are one of 2 tanks of what I call butt heads. They are fathead minnow babies. We had originally, the first year, we had set up the stock tank in our yard, bought fathead minnows to stock it as they were the cheapest, and we had winterized about 10 of them. This is the second year, and between the stock tank and the other in-ground pond that we have, this is half of the production that is remaining, and they can be very aggressive at points in time. I'm sure you're asking, what are those clay pots in there? They are breeding pots. So far, we haven't been able to utilize those pots for breeding. They've only bred in the ponds, and this is what we were able to catch out of the ponds. They eat quite a bit, and they can be very aggressive against each other, and they will eat each other. This is the squishy tank, and they now have a new addition in their tank. We were originally started out with 10 squishies. We now have 9. Unfortunately, 1 passed away. We're not sure why, but there is a life cycle. There is an additional fish in the tank. His name is Pokey, and he is a Plecostomus, aka Pleco. He has super cleaned the tank since he's been in here. There was an algae outbreak in this tank because of the fact that they did not like the food that we were feeding them. It decided to grow on the white little houses and the plants and everything else. But since we added Pokey, it's been super clean. You can't name the squishies because you can't tell which squishy is which squishy. This is also another tank of what I call butt heads. They're fathead minnows, and as you can see, there's different stages of ages in the tank. There are larger ones and smaller ones. We had close to 250 to 300 between the 2 tanks when we first started, but the larger ones decided that was going to be their diet instead of what we fed them. So there's quite a few missing. I see that Jake had put a plant in there for them to breed on if they decide to breed. They're high frequency breeders. Depending on the stage of life that they're in, they will breed quite a bit. They've cleaned up their mess that they had in the tank. There's no food left. We had just fed previous to viewing. They are also pigs, just like the rest of our fish. We can't name them either. There's too many and they go too fast. There's probably at least 50 to 75 in that tank. There was 150 plus in that tank. The plants that we have in here are Alterantherium, wirevine, papyrus grass. It does go to seed. You can save the seed and plant your own. This one over here obviously is went to seed. It's in its dormant stage. This one is not quite as much. We also have bamboo in the bog, and we also have a bog above the girls' tank full of bamboo and spider plants.
Are you all done?